garden friends, it's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm, and today I am renovating my Greenstalks. So come along for the ride. So these are my Greenstalk gardens. I've talked about them before. I have two. This one is the leaf version. It has shorter pockets. And this one is the standard version over here. It has much taller pockets. So it's good for things like carrots and stuff that needs a deep root run. This one is planted up with strawberries and herbs. And for the most part, it's going to stay that way. I have some strawberries that I'm going to add to it. And I'll clean out some of these herbs, clean them up a little bit, make them look better. This one is the one that we're actually going to do the most work on today. This one is the leaf variety, and it has keeps all of my lettuces and greens and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the thing apart. I'm going to take out the stuff that's in there that's kind of old and not really producing. I'm going to replace some soil because a lot of it got kind of, yucky over the winter, and, it loses nutrition, etc. Replace the soil, and then I'm going to put new plants in. So because we'll be taking it apart, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to see how the system actually works. And the best way to see that is to take it apart so you can see how the different tiers are set up. This is not your typical tiered like strawberry tower where it says you can only water on top and then it will feed everything else, but that's not true. Those you usually have to water each pocket. That is not how this works. This one you really do literally just water up top, and then everything else gets drip irrigated below it. So I'm going to take it apart, and then I'll show you what the pieces parts are, and we'll get started on the project. Okay, so here I have taken apart the Greenstalk. You can see the base over here. This is optional, but I highly recommend it. It is on wheels, and it's got a tube for drainage, so that allows you to move your Greenstalk around. And if you're like me and you're in a place where you get the sun, this is a south-facing area, so the sun moves across the sky, and so the north side of the Greenstalk doesn't get as much sun. So I rotate it 90 degrees every day. So this is super handy because, as you can imagine, it's pretty heavy. So here are the tiers. There are 7 of them. And you can see that each one, except for that one, because that was the top one, this one right here, each one has this little placket in there. So basically what this does is when you water into the top tier, which is this one, let's say this was the top tier, when you water into it, the water goes down this hole and it fills each of these small containers along the way. And then in each container, as well as this top tier, you see these little holes. So those are the drip for each pocket. And the containers, these little containers have them as well. I need to clean this out, obviously. That's one of the reasons I wanted to take this apart. So what that means is you can drip irrigate, which is a great way to save water, irrigation on all of your Greenstalks by just watering the top. It is extremely effective, and it is also really easy. And even if you have somebody taking care of your garden, all you have to do is say, fill the top tier until water runs out the bottom, and that's all it's needed. So this other one works the same way. It's just that it's taller because there are deeper pockets. Actually, they're about the same size because this is 5 tiers as opposed to the other with the leaf version, which is 7. But you can see the reason it's so great to grow things like strawberries on. Look at that. They hang outside of the pockets. So they don't get dirty. They don't get eaten by pests. It's just a really great system. Now this is a squash, and you can grow those in this as well. You just need to support the fruits as they come out. There is a separate piece that you can buy that's like a cage that goes around so that everything is supported if you're growing things like that. Um, and you can see the herbs can get quite tall. So I'm going to harvest some of these to dry and repot some herbs that are kind of petering out, and then pot up lettuces as well. I mean, look at those strawberries there. We have one red one, but there's a whole bunch more coming. So this is like my favorite way to grow strawberries. These are garlic chives up here, and they just aren't doing anything. So I think I'm going to replace those. I mean, they've been in there for weeks. I'm going to replace those with more strawberries. Okay, so my battery died yesterday. It is a new day. It's the end of the new day. And I just wanted to wrap this up. So I'm going to show you what I did. You saw me in time lapse, took it apart and put it back together again. So I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see where we ended up. So here it is put back together and replanted, except for, you'll see these top three tiers are empty, because I'm gonna fill them with lettuce, and I need to get lettuce. So that's the plan there. What I've done here is something kind of weird. Well, basil, that's normal. Basil will do just fine. Basil, and that's Thai basil. But I went crazy go nuts and I have planted peppers. They should do fine in here. And then I also, even crazier, planted dwarf tomatoes. So we'll see how they do. They will have plenty of space and nutrition because they're really tiny and they just have little cherry tomatoes. So we'll see how that goes. And then over here, look at this, strawberries. All I did was plant additional strawberries in this top tier here and just kind of tidy things up, clean out some dead leaves, etc., etc. I put Greek oregano down here, and I think, yeah, I took out some old sage that had gotten really woody and put that down there. So, not a huge change, but once this gets planted up with more lettuce, we'll be able to have pretty much all of our greens needs met by just this one tower. So that's it for Greenstalk maintenance for now. I hope that you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.